So, how many of you guys watch the Super Bowl not only for the great games, but also for the incredible and very expensive advertisements that run throughout? So a lot of you. So every year there's debates over, which are the best, which are the coolest, which are the funniest, which are best at selling their products. So I decided to step back and take a look at what exactly makes these ads so successful. So in the 2012 Super Bowl, Budweiser aired an advertisement for their, obviously their beer. And there are three main things that I saw throughout which jumped out at me and made me attracted and pulled towards the advertisement. Alright. Sorry. So the Budweiser commercial, Eternal Optimism, uses historical references, cultural references, and pathos to attract its audience towards its product. Its ability to connect with its audience is what I believe makes it a very informative and effective advertisement. And again, through historical and cultural references and pathos, which is the feeling that something gives off on a person, this ad is very effective at moving its product. So, the video chronicles the time since Prohibition. The first scene that you saw was a newspaper article saying that Prohibition has been lifted. According to History.com, the ratification of the 18th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, which banned the manufacture, transportation, and sale of intoxicating liquors, ushered in a period in American history known as Prohibition. In early 1933, Congress adopted a resolution proposing the 21st Amendment to the Constitution that would repeal the 18th. It was ratified by the end of the year, bringing the Prohibition era to an end. So after you see the scene of Prohibition, obviously alcohol is back. It shows pictures from every decade following that. So Prohibition in the 1930s. After that, it showed the 1940s, where it said the troops have come home from World War II. 50s, you saw guys dancing around wearing leather jackets, kind of like Grease Lightning type figures. 60s, it was landing on the moon. 70s was disco. 80s was the Miracle on Ice when the United States won the Olympics. The 90s, where you saw your kind of Beastie Boy-esque breakdancers and their techno stuff like that. 2000s, there was a rock show, and then most recently the 2010s, I guess you would call them. You saw like your techno rave type things that everyone's doing these days. So by including all these things throughout their ad, it gives the viewers a way to connect to the product. And you've also seen in all the things shown, there was Budweiser present throughout. So using these references, it can give people who have who've been alive since Prohibition, or people who have just obviously it doesn't appeal to people under 21, but people who are still young, they're out dancing at clubs or whatever, stuff like that. So although there's a strong theme of historical moments, the advertisement also gains attention through cultural references and relationships. First and foremost, the advertisement targets Americans because these are all scenes from American history. Miracle on Ice is obviously United States, working troops coming home, Prohibition, that's all having to do with American citizens. According to the Dayton Business Journal, Budweiser is the second most popular beer in the United States, and that is only beaten out by its sister product, Bud Light. And as you can see, their logo, if this comes up, is Budweiser, the great American lager. So that is appealing to Americans and people who use Budweiser. Throughout the ad, both men and women are seen, drinking, and so obviously it's targeting both, but really the age group is people who are 21 and over, because obviously you can't drink alcohol if you're under 21. According to Benjamin Freed of the DCist Daily, which is a newspaper out of the DC area, 55% of men choose beer over any other drink, while only 23% of women will choose beer. And interestingly, the numbers are pretty much swapped when that comes to wine. So that's just showing that a lot of Americans drink beer, but mostly men, still some women now. And finally, because throughout the ad you see a lot of different people doing things, you have hockey fans, you have veterans coming home from war, you have musicians, stuff like that. It appeals to a wide variety of groups. Veterans can relate, musicians, like I was saying. And again, the music relates to the younger generation because it's, I don't know if you guys know, it's a Flow Rider song that just came out. It's just a new remix, stuff like so that relates to the younger population. History paired with culture in this advertisement create a joyous feeling of pathos throughout. Pathos is the appeal that something has on one's emotions, so by this having upbeat music, depicting images of triumph for the United States, this creates a very joyous feeling for the viewer. Right, and by pairing Budweiser with everything that's going on, it gives off the feeling that Budweiser is needed for these things to happen and that it induces happy times. The song, again, is upbeat. You have people dancing and singing throughout. Everybody's smiling. And even the ad title itself is Eternal Optimism. So, I mean, from that you can take that fun can always be had with Budweiser, regardless of where you are, regardless of how bad the situation seems. Budweiser can always be there and lifting your spirits. And this is not the first time that Budweiser has tried to make advertisements and events that are kind of like feel-good things. A couple of years ago, they did an ad that was called "Grow 1/7 million." So basically, this was on World Environment Day when the Anheuser-Busch company, which owns Budweiser, they said that they want all their the buyers of their product to not shave on this one day to conserve water and to save water for other people who need it more. So that's just, again, building a positive image like this commercial does for the company. Budweiser has created an effective advertisement by reaching and relating to its audience in authentic ways. Does this through the use of pathos and historical and cultural references, which obviously are targeted towards their targeted demographic. And although we see hundreds of advertisements every day, the elements used in Budweiser's Super Bowl commercial show the audience how drinking the product will create